After they saw him approach a female, they nicknamed him Rusty. See, in high school, he was nothing more than a walking piñata. He would graduate with honors, but he never fought for its own honor. Some would blame it on the absence of his father. Others would say it was his mother's legs because just like Rusty's mind, they were always open. You would think that someone like that would have no love left. There was no love felt just yet. But then the day came as if it was prophesied. I could have sworn that his eyes were a cigarette butt, the way that they lit up. Her real name was Fran. He nicknamed her Fry, because just like the food, she was fast and he knew it wasn't good for him. But good old Rusty fell in love with Fry, but how could he stop the music while she's dancing with another guy? So they became just friends. F-R-I-E-N-D-S. His love for Fry ends. Friends. But if only he knew, that if only she knew, that for all those 365-day sessions of broken promises, he really loved her. Rusty spent years as a prisoner of half-painted walls, writing poetry hoping that it will guide him to that moment he's been waiting for. That moment turned into a lifetime. See, Rusty is now 70 years old, and as I'm sitting at this nursing home, I'm comparing my life to his. And I asked him, whatever happened to the woman that you loved? He just looked up to me and said, drugs. Then he handed me a poem that was so deep that my eyes went into war, but my tears won. He said, tears. It's funny that the further they travel, the less that they become. Then I asked him, whatever happened? How did you know that she loved you? He said that I didn't. Then he said that that poem wasn't written by him. It was written by her. Handed to him at her funeral. Then he looked at me and said, so if you love someone, you tell them now, because the end of your life can be now. So why are you still around? Go and change the world, because I never could. I just stood in front of the hourglass watching the sand pour, covering my history, because I miss her so much. With a tear rolling down his eye, he said, just one touch. If only I had loved her, I could have saved her life. I could have saved her life. Then I grabbed his hand and he started trembling in fear, getting flashbacks of when he was my age, and he had his whole life ahead of him. But what was ahead of him is now behind him. What he ran away from is now inside him. And together they're slowly dying. He said that his life was just a waste of life because he never saved the life he wished he could have made it right. I told him what happened to her wasn't your fault. Being afraid is not a crime. And don't ever say you never saved the life, because after today you just saved mine. After that conversation, 7 days passed, and then so did Rusty, and they were back together at last. So now when I love with no fear. Now when I cry, I enjoy every tear, because if you don't, then why are you even here? Go and change the world, because I never could.